Hi and welcome to WorkPro. Today I'm going to take you on a little tour of the WorkPro dashboard. This introduction will show you exactly how to use WorkPro, some handy hints and tips on how the different modules work in WorkPro, where to create a package, where to track your requests, how to send a request, and also how to use the filtering function. So to get started, you're going to log in as a WorkPro administrator. So logging into the platform, and this is your WorkPro dashboard. So basically this means this is where you start and finish with WorkPro. So you can see here that we have candidate's name on the left-hand side. You've got background checks, inductions learning, licenses, and documents. So depending on the services that you use within WorkPro will depend on which part of the dashboard you're going to be interested in. So the first things first, some really quick basics. If you have a candidate that you're engaging and you need to complete tasks in WorkPro, what you can do is find their candidate identification number, enter their last name to search the WorkPro database. A candidate identification number is unique to that candidate, and you won't be able to search the WorkPro database without it. This is really important because WorkPro it caters for many thousands of companies, and about 3 million candidates have completed WorkPro. So that means that they apply for a role with your organisation, rather than having to repeat the process, you simply access they provide you with their unique SIN, enter their last name, and you can search the database. You can have a look at their profile and then determine whether you need to send them another task. Starting off over here with the request, so this is where you send a request for WorkPro. And you can see here, you can send a request to an existing candidate. I've just mentioned that. You can send a request to a new candidate, or you can send a bulk request from here. Once you've sent the request, you can also track the request by clicking on Actions, Track Request, and you can see the candidate name. You can see who the requester was inside your organisation, the date that request was sent, and the token. Once the person has logged in, you can also see the date here. So if the candidate calls you, you've sent the request, the candidate calls you and says, I didn't get that request, you can come into this track request area and you can provide them the token over the phone. You can also delete the request. You can have a look at email history because WorkPro sends reminders. They send 3 reminders 3 days apart if the task remains outstanding. You can also resend the invitation, and you can view the tasks that have been sent to the candidate. So that's pretty handy. The other thing that you can do is create packages in WorkPro. So I'll cover this also as part of another video walkthrough. Just for the purposes of this, create a package. This is where you're actually creating your packages. So you're naming the package, choosing the tasks that make up that package, and then saving that package. And once you've saved the package, you can also manage those packages here. So you can view and edit them, or you can delete it. So that's completely up to you. You can have an unlimited number of packages. While I'm here, I'll also show you, once you've created a package, another little shortcut, which is to send a bulk request from this area. Again, I'm going to be covering bulk requests in another video walkthrough, but just for the purposes of this, once you've created your package, you can click here. You can send a bulk request either using a CSV file if you've got hundreds of people as an example, or you can quickly enter, several candidates here using this Enter Details Manually button. Then determining the package you need to send them, and then quickly send the requests. And naturally, you can then track that request if you need to. So coming back to the dashboard, once the request has been sent and the candidate's completed their task, that information will be stored here. So you can see there's several statuses under background checks as an example. So police check as an example is a please review. Once the police check has been completed, it will come back with a finalised and show you the final status of a police check. Really quickly be able to show you certain things. So for example, citizenship and work rights check. So if you have, you want to view those that are non-Australian citizens as an example, and then you want to be able to bulk request those to Vivo. So let me just show you quickly how the filtering function works using that example I've just provided. So under background checks, choosing citizenship and work rights check, you want to be checking non-Australian citizens that are ready to submit to Vivo. So of course, this is only appropriate if you're going to be using that subscription in WorkPro. So selecting apply, and you can now see that the filtering function has then displayed the information that you've requested. Coming over here to actions, and then you can send a bulk Vivo check. Right, so that filtering function, again, I'll cover this off in another video walkthrough guide. Coming across to the filtering function, there's a lot of options here that you can use to view the information that you want to see very quickly, very readily, and then make decisions about. So you can see in background checks, you can select the background checks that you want to see. And once you've clicked on that background check, you can also particularly choose a status as an example that you'd like to see. Under Inductions and eLearning, you can also look at all of those candidates who have completed modules for you or learning modules for you that you've not yet produced the compliance certificate for. You can also search for modules. So you might be looking for forklift operators. So you would enter the module here, and then you'll be able to very quickly find those that have completed a forklift learning module. Or you might be looking at, for all those people that I have produced training certificates for, what's expiring in the next 30 days. So you can very quickly manage those refresher training that is necessary. And similarly, license and tickets, so you can be really granular about using the filtering function in WorkPro to your heart's content. So that's the filtering function. I know I've just glossed over it, but that's just a little overview. Coming across to Inductions and eLearning. So again, you can see the modules that someone has completed in WorkPro. That means that they've logged in, they've used their token, and they've completed their training. And you can very quickly see at a glance those that the expiry date on these modules. And these, using a traffic light system, these change colour as that training is due for renewal. So it's green when it's current, it's orange as it's coming due for renewal in the next 30 days, or red, it's been expired. So again, you can use the filtering function to look for expired modules, or you can look for expired modules that are coming due in the next 30 days. That information is displayed, and then you can make a decision about whether you need to send a refresher. Similarly, with licenses and tickets, once the candidate has completed or uploaded those tickets and licenses, you're then using WorkPro's dashboard to quickly, at a glance, either using the filtering function or searching for a candidate, or even looking at the dashboard, looking at what's been expired, what's current, what's coming due for renewal. So that's a little overview about the dashboard and how to use the dashboard. One last thing, looking at a candidate's profile, you've looked at that candidate's profile here. You can also get a granular view of a candidate's profile here. And this is where you can make decisions, so you can quickly process a police check as an example. So you can see here getting much more detail. And if I was to click on this as an example, I'd then get a further granular view. So you can do that for a particular candidate if you'd like to delve in and gather further information about this candidate, what remains outstanding, what's been completed, what's expired. You can look at what's been uploaded, licenses as an example. And also finally, under background checks as an example, if you needed someone to do a new check, you could just click here and you could send them a new check.